What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. Shaved. That's obviously going to be the first little jarring thing. I had a dentist appointment. I didn't want to have a big old gangly beard. But that's not what I'm here today, even though that's probably worthy of announcement. Madden 21 released their final franchise update. And there's some good things in there, for sure. There's some things that, again, like most of the features that we've had throughout these three title updates, they're going to be nice little pieces that, as long as they can kind of be copy and pasted to franchise modes from here on out, a lot of people are going to be happy, because it's a lot of things that aren't necessarily big features, not back of the box, not things that are going to reinvigorate the stale franchise mode, but they're all features that have kind of existed in previous Maddens that people just really want to have that help out with immersion. And obviously you don't need to relay everything that's happened in the first two updates. And while I do think that the dev trait system that they implemented in the second title update, where you could have dev trait regression and progression, you can modify how many X factors, how many superstars, how many star players you had in your league, thought that was pretty buggy. It didn't work out properly. I don't run with the dev trait regression on. I wish I could, because it would be awesome. You know, it still is a little bit jarring sometimes to see like a 69 overall outside linebacker with a superstar X factor ability. You know, they probably should have regressed, but the fact that there's still unbelievably unrealistic harsh regressions that could take place, and that kind of felt like a little copy and paste from the issues with the old dev trait regression system they used to have in Madden. That's a little lame for me personally, but I know there's other people out there that probably enjoy having dev trait regression on. And I just, it's not me patting Madden on the back, but I do appreciate the fact that that feature wasn't for me. It wasn't tuned for the way that I like to create content, the way I like to play my franchise mode. So at least I can turn it off. And I think that that is paramount going forward. That's just something that, you know, bothers me when it comes to Madden franchise, because it feels like, you know, if you take these franchise wish lists of the diehards of the Madden community, right? And there could be a perfect justification to have all these diehard features into a title. But then the issue kind of comes like, all right, we spent time put that in. It doesn't fit the vision of Madden franchise to be easily accessible to brand new users. If it looks too daunting, if it looks like there's too much to do, maybe it'll scare away new people playing franchise mode. And I feel like, I guess there's some validity to that, even though absolutely the diehards that have been supporting this franchise mode that's been incredibly lackluster over the last couple of years should take top priority over the mass marketing and people that don't really understand a franchise mode just wanting to get as many eyes, as many thumbs on the game as possible. That's what the yard and stuff like that could be for. Give us the option to turn it off. I feel like that could be the justification. Well, it seems kind of counterproductive to be like, we want to put in all these diehard features in the franchise mode, but we give you the option to turn it off. If you want a more simplistic approach, people might be saying like, well, why are you going to spend so much time on something that you can just turn right off and it's non-existent? Obviously, there's a balance there. My point being, I appreciate the fact that you can turn things off if you don't like it in franchise mode. That needs to be a staple, because I like to pick and choose. Sometimes I'm picky. Sometimes I like what features they give to me. And quickly for today's title update, they added some cool things. You can go check out the Gridiron notes if you want an in-depth on it. They updated the league history, so you can go look back. It doesn't apply to existing franchises, but if you start your franchise from here on out, you'll be able to look back at all previous year award winners and previous year Super Bowl champions. That's kind of cool. Definitely helps out with immersion once you get X amount of years into your franchise mode. They've done some updates to draft picks, which, I actually haven't really seen too many issues, too many grievances. The big issue is always teams drafting quarterbacks when they had a young rookie quarterback or a young sophomore, third-year player. I remember the Buffalo Bills would constantly give up on Josh Allen. The Jets would constantly give up on Sam Darnold, and it kind of killed your immersion a little bit. So, yeah, tweaking that is always fine. They've done something to quarterbacks in terms of age regression, just a little bit, which I definitely think that is something that is pretty cool. To read it here to you, age value tuning. Every player position received a new customized age value curve that keeps player value authentically updated as players get older in franchise mode. As player age, the more the age impacts their value on the market. So that's just one of those things where I think it's important to, the example, and it's not exactly what I think should happen, but improving the value of older players is something that kind of needs to exist and get updated in franchise mode just a little bit. Because we've seen firsthand in my flashback series, we started in 2010, and we go all the way to 2020. Tom Brady, for example, will retire at like 2015, 2016. He'll be a 77 overall X Factor because that's just what happens in Madden. You get crippled and destroyed once you get 32, 33, 34, and beyond. When in reality, like, these guys still can play at the highest level. These guys are still pulling in ridiculous top 5, top 10 Madden player overall ratings. But in reality, in the world of a Madden, those type of players just wouldn't exist. And I think that's something that should be adjusted and reflected. The fact that if you're still playing at a high level, you know, obviously you can value that to positional, because certain players, like corners, for an example, the older you get, the less athletic, the less zip, pep in your step, the less you can just absolutely scoot. Like, certain positions regress authentically, like running backs is another one. And obviously there's outliers, but for the most part, those positions should regress to a degree. But I think like quarterbacks, special teamers, linemen seem to, age fairly well. Tight ends seem to age fairly well. These guys here need to hold on to their talent the older they get. And I think that's something that we want to see in Madden. They also adjusted. Here's something that I need to say to the community. The last time I had to have a one-on-one with the community is when everybody wanted the Pro Bowl, and then we finally got the Pro Bowl. And I was like, who wants, like, really? Like, there was every time you see a wish list for Madden, people were like, put the Pro Bowl in. They finally put the Pro Bowl in. Like, and those people went quiet. It was such an unnecessary feature for how much time it took the devs to put that in Madden. It kills me. And here's another one. And part of this Madden 21 Title 3 franchise update is like they're constantly working on trade logic, right? And I get it. Sometimes the viral post where a real NFL trade happens and in Madden you can't make it come through, right? And there's always people like, hey, you can trade for Quentin Nelson for a 7th round pick. Yeah, that's annoying. And ideally, you could have a balanced and fair and realistic trade logic system. But I always felt like this is something that's constantly tuned throughout a Madden season. And in reality, yes, it always can be better, but it should be very low on the priority list because it just comes down to like user restraint. If you don't want dumb trades happening, don't offer dumb trades. Like you see constantly on the Madden Reddit. People are like, you believe this trade? I was able to trade my 3rd round pick and a 62 overall tackle for Dak Prescott. You guys believe this? LOL, man. Every time I see them, I'm just like, don't make the trade. It's not like the AI is making these trades. So I always kind of felt like when it came down to trade logic and people always trying to blast EA for, the outrageous trades that they can make, I'm always just like, yeah, okay, it's kind of annoying. But ultimately, that's you. You're putting yourself in this bad predicament, things that you don't want. So I don't know. That's just my little bit of a grief when it comes to trade logic. I do think, obviously, it can always be better. But I do think that there's a certain degree of just restrain yourself. If you want a realistic franchise, if you don't offer those trades, it's not like, the AI is going to be doing that in the background and you're not going to be able to compete within your division. Just show a little restraint. But the big news, 8 minutes in here, is this. Here's our guy, Sean Grady. And I will say, also, I didn't see this in the update. I don't have direct line with everybody, but I do have, I can get the word out to people. I'm trying really hard right now, fellas, to get the profanities fixed in draft classes. I don't know if you've seen it. See my videos for sure. Sometimes the names are starred out. There's obviously just a bug with the profanity filter, like it's blocking out anything and everything. Kind of feels like I was left on red for my post, trying to say like, hey, can we get this fixed because it wasn't in the title update. I'm trying. But anyways, this is Sean Grady. This is the man that made the We Hear Ya type video when the big hashtag Fix Madden franchise came out. I've never met him. I've met some of the people that work on a lot of the people that work on Madden and franchise. I've never met him directly, but he's a cheeky guy. Because look at this. What this is I assume some sort of early build for Madden 22. And it's the Chicago Bears. And you see Matt Nagy here. Staff management. That is an OC. That is a DC. I'm not really sure what player person, special team coach? So, lot to digest here. Because as we roll into Madden 22, I think I speak and represent the community when it comes to a franchise feature. People want gameplay, authentic sim, anything in between. But that's not really features. If there had to be one feature that has to be in Madden 22, it's coaching carousel. And this does not mean that we're getting coaching carousel. This means that, and this might not mean anything. I think it should mean something because there's clearly a sense of like, hey, let's just sneak that in the video. But that is a coaching staff. And I would hope that this is, a teaser. It's not just going to be this is your coaching carousel here. It's just, okay, you have game day goals and you can have a specialty. If you're the quarterback, if you're the offensive coordinator, you could be like running backs and fullbacks. I'm really good with those guys. And same on the defense, vice versa. I hope this is just like the big menu and we can just let our imaginations run wild on the fact that, like, hey, can I start as an OC? Can I build up a skill tree like an NCAA and then eventually take my talents to become a head coach? Because that is 100% what needs to be in Madden 22. It's I don't want to take this little teaser that should make a lot of people, myself included, very happy and be like, all right, look at this one little clip. This looks incredibly bare bones. It's not going to be cool. But I do know occasionally people can watch my videos that, could have some input. And if you are going down finally the direction of coaching carousel, go down the direction of coaching carousel. Don't go down the direction of like, all right, how can we have coaching staffs but keep it as simplistic as possible? That's not what people want. And I hope that they're hearing us and they're going down this coaching staff much needed feature, and they understand that like it needs to be like, I want to start as an OC. I want to have a skill tree that I can grind for 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons, that I can develop, and I can be a specialist to running backs. I can be a specialist to zone blocking guards. I can be a specialist to vertical threat tight ends, and all these different things that are going to be able to translate and carry over to when I eventually become a head coach. I want that journey. I want that option. And I hope that this is the beginning of that. Would it be underwhelming if like this is kind of all we get? Like this is the direction they decided for 22 is like, we'll add OC and DC, but it's still going to be, kind of simplistic. I don't know. I feel like that's a disservice to adding in this feature. Because if you add in this feature, you're adding more depth to the basic coaching staffs that we've had before. So if you're going to add more depth, go all the way with more depth. Give us a completely new avenue to play and experience Madden franchise. Because, like you just see with the Tom Savage UNLV series, like that is going to be intriguing. I'm halfway through the season. I'm struggling. I don't really want to be at UNLV, but they're the only place that hired me. And I'm slowly starting to grow my skill tree. I'm slowly starting to get those +3s to injuries and +1 to throw power and throw accuracy. And eventually I'll get +2 to throw power, +2 to throw accuracy. I'm going to develop a little bit of a background as a quarterback guru. And hopefully, after I continue to flush out that tree, I get a head coaching job. And I can take that entire skill tree, bring that with me to boost my roster, and then work on a brand new head coaching skill tree. Like, that is what I want in Madden 22. I think that is what the people want in Madden 22. So if anyone's seeing this that has power, and they're already snickering saying, oh man, C4 doesn't know anything that he's talking about yet about Madden 22. This is just the beginning. I hope that that's the case. Because I think coaching carousel is absolutely the kick in the ass that franchise mode needs. But if you are listening to this and they're kind of maybe unsure about the direction that they should go with coaching staffs and all that stuff, just make it a journey. Make it start from the bottom, work your way up. Make it a grind. Make it unforgiving, make it unpredictable, make it random, but don't half-ass it. That's all I can say. And that's not just, that's not to say people phone it in, but you see things like, all I could say is make something that you're genuinely proud of. Don't just be like, all right, we had these, they want us to add OCs and DCs, so we just added in this little menu for OCs and DCs. Go in with it. I know people that worked on this game. They worked on NCAA. Add the coaching tree that these people need to have. Add the depth and add the features that a proper coaching carousel needs to have. And we'll have a great time in Madden 22. So what do you guys think? What do you guys hope for this obviously incredibly... This is almost like a low effort post because we're talking about the background of a video. But they did this for a reason. And I don't know. I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited for the future. I'm glad that this is at least a sneak peek of the direction that they're trying to go for Madden franchise going forward. And, you know, I can't wait for Madden 22 news to start to drop. So thank you guys for watching. As always, first time stopping by, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4. Say peace out.